Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Shenanigan, and today we're going to discuss 6.2.5, the chapter with the Hydra Adaptoid. And this is also one of the more difficult chapters in terms of the parts and some of the parts. But again, the boss is pretty easy. So we're going to go ahead and talk about the paths here. I have not, prepared anything on this chapter so far. So let's just go ahead and see what we have. Uh, the, the first path here is going to be Lionheart and Arc Overload. In Lionheart, you can't really go ahead and reverse regen, and it basically has regen champs, and uh, and that's about it. For this path, I did use Archangel, but just be aware of not having Despair maxed out, because if you have more than a few debuffs, you start taking damage as well, and I did get that from Archangel. You can use Medusa here for this particular boss, and the rest everything is actually pretty simple. It's not at all an issue this chapter. Anyone, if you have someone who can nullify, that's going to be great. Uh, just if there's a passive heal block like Warlock, that's going to be great. But that's about it. It's not a lot of issues here. Even the health gain is not a lot. All you have to do is just push through. There's no additional node on the mini boss either, and this mini boss will also be great when you have Medusa. Uh, or if you don't have Medusa, you always can take a Vision Arcus maybe. Otherwise, you can just push through both of these champs. This one, thankfully, does not have the Raptor upgrade, so he's going to be blockable in the first few seconds as well. Uh, the next part, I'm just going to go ahead and do this like from here only. After you do this Lionheart path, we have the path which can only take damage from Power Sting. And every time you fill a bar of power, you also gain, uh, Power Sting, so you can't really go ahead and use a special attack immediately. Uh, if you do have a science champ like maybe uh, a She-Hulk, and you definitely have a Mr. Fantastic, you can use the third champ as maybe uh, Captain America, Infinity War, and this path will be a piece of cake. I do not have Mr. Fantastic. So I tried a lot of champs on this path. I tried a lot of champs which do power strings, but it was not enough. Now, this particular path, the champions are going to take damage when the power string is active and not just by power string. So there's a power string on the champion, you can go ahead and hit into them, they're going to go ahead and take more damage. What I did, however, is use other options I had. Archangel works beautifully on this path. You go ahead, take Archangel, he's going to demolish it. I do not have Namor, but we have a Namor Maxig. He's going to work beautifully on this pass as well. He'll reflect all the damage of Power Sting. If you have Quake and you can do Quake and Shake, maybe she's going to work too. What I did, however, is use the champions who have massive SP3s, because that also worked wonders. I tried Proxima, but I couldn't actually go out and do a lot of good with Proxima, so that didn't work for me. Uh, with Hyperion, I also took Havoc. With that massive SP3 damage, Havoc also worked beautifully, but I didn't actually need Havoc for the whole part. Hyperion did everything. Enable willpower, gain that health from the power string each time you fill a bar of power, and then SP3, let the power string expire. Do keep on hitting heavies, get those 7, 8 furies, and each SP3 did around 15% of the damage, and that was it. That 50% was it. So I took Hyperion here. The second champ I took was Havoc. The third I took was Human Torch. I was, hoping to use Human Torch on one of these two here, but instead I decided to use the pre-fight ability on the Warlock. The pre-fight ability of Human Torch gives the power string. I used the power string of this warlock, and he was dead. I did one shot. I did, I think, Havoc on this Omega Red. This Killmonger was a problem. I did bring with me Captain America Infinity War with Hyperion. Captain America does do an armor break on parry. So, and with an armor break, I just kept hitting SP1. The SP3 damage was not enough with Captain America, not at least against this Killmonger. So I kept on cycling with SP1. It took a long time, only took 120 hits, I think. But the fight was slow. Just parry heavy, parry heavy, parry SP1. So, and because of the synergy I had with the skill champ, the power string also got removed every time. I didn't want that, but I couldn't help it because I needed a skill champ for the final boss, and I'll come to that. Uh, I used Havoc here as well. I used Hyperion on this one. Hyperion was, I'm not sure how he worked, but he worked exceptionally well on the man thing, even with the class disadvantage. Keep on hitting that SP3 with 7 or 8 Furies, get that 15 to 17% damage. And this final Diablo, he has this a particular note that, again, it's a favorite note for Kabam, and this is the kinetic broom. So he gets unstoppable every time. Which was it? This one or this one? Yeah, this is the one I think. Yes, so Toxic Rage. Again, the best champion here was Captain America Infinity War because every time he gets unstoppable, this Diablo will just go ahead and remove it, keep cycling that SP1. We could have taken Human Torch or someone who could nullify as well, but this is a path which has very, very specific champions that you can use. Not all of them. There are things you can do. You could just go ahead and probably, mark it down with Archangel, uh, but this was one of the difficult parts. Then we go above here and come to this Doctor Strange. This path has power gain, I think. Let's see. Power struggle, aspect of evolution. What you need in this path is some power control. And Doom actually works in this path. I also took Void. I did take Human Torch too. I cannot do that Doom, after SP3 you do a medium, light, medium, and then medium, medium, light, 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 medium. I can't do that. I only know how to do a medium, light, medium, and then medium, light, 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 medium. So if you can do that Doom cycle, you are always going to be able to cheese every fight here because you will always reach your SP3 with that particular rotation, and you can just keep doing SP3 and keep doing that rotation. I just pushed through it. It wasn't really hard. This fight wasn't hard either. With a Human Torch, this Sinestro wasn't hard either, and that's about it. This is not a hard path as long as you have that counter. If you have someone who can, but actually, you can't really do a power lock here either, can you? Yeah, this one also has specific counters that you need. So unfortunately, you can't just take any champion here. This is going to be a little difficult. Uh, Void could definitely work. Maybe Magic can work as well. But if you do a power lock, then the champion cannot gain a power. You can't go back to your SP2. It's just a little struggle, and most of the parts here are struggle. If you have Doom, you can cheese this part. For this part, if you do have Mr. Fantastic, you can cheese this part. Let's come to this path here. This path has pull and selective time stream. Selective time stream is the same as in variant 3, the tech variant, the final boss, who's going to go and just gain the full bar of power if you don't have an incinerate on them. So What I did was I used Hyperion here, uh, just spammed the SP1 on the whole pack. For this Nick Fury, I bought a Mutant and I bought a Sunspot because Sunspot will always have Incinerate on the opponent. The Nick Fury is not going to go ahead and gain full health. Uh, and there was one time when the Incinerate expired and he was about to gain full health, I had to just exit out and just use the 20% to revive and start it up again. Uh, And I also brought Warlock for this because of this domino, so I could do this passive heal block. But there's a very easy cheese on this path, and that is just use Mudok. Get a Mudok, do some damage during this 20 second, save your SP1. And as soon as this 20 seconds is about to be over, just be in a corner, either hit an SP1 directly to the opponent, or go ahead and just throw an SP1 even in block because the SP1 is going to reverse that healing, and the opponent will take power, and that reversal geometrically increases. Let's say you're only able to do 5% of damage, on your first SP1, that's going to reverse, and the opponent is going to go down from 95 to 90%. Now the difference is 10%. Let's assume that you do another 2 or 3%. The difference is now 13%. The opponent has 87% power. When you throw an SP1 right at that 20-second mark, he's going to lose that 13% health, and he's going to come down to 75. Now there's a difference of 25% health. So next SV1 is going to bring the opponent down to 50. And then finally it's going to bring him down to 0. You can do that Modok cheese for the whole path. And that's probably the best thing you can do. If you don't have Modok, Hyperion, Sunspot, maybe even Torch, Warlock will work. Okay, so before I come to this Colossus fight, which you will have to go ahead and do for the next two parts, I'm going to talk about this part first. This part is a spray and gas part. I thought of using Domino here, but I just wanted more options. I went ahead, and this is the another part. I used Emma Frostborn. All you got to do with this Emma is do a parry, do 3 heavy charges, you're out of a diamond form, and then you can just go ahead and fight this normally. Because of Spry and Gas, there's a Mix Master here as well, so you can't really go ahead and do the same basic attack twice. You only can do, let's say, parry, medium, light, medium, and then you can't really go ahead and do an intercept with a medium. You have to do a parry, medium, light, medium again. With Emma Frost, you can just go ahead and do what you can. Emma Frost is the best on this path, unless you can get someone which has True Strike like Killmonger, maybe Moorman, maybe Heimdall. For this part, I did take Heimdall. I did take Thor so that I could gain that extra health. And I also took Angela so I can gain that extra attack. And I only used Emma for the whole part. The problem is this particular Spider-Man here, and let me tell you what the issue is. If your Emma is not awakened, it's gonna be okay. But if she's awakened, her ability is that if there's a certain amount of damage you're going to take from the opponent's hit, you're going to convert back to diamond form. And in diamond form, you can't really go ahead and stop evading. Even with the parry uh, that this Gwenpool does, the potential damage is up to 15%, and Emma changes to diamond form. And I had to go ahead and get past that a few times because I had to make sure that I had more power than this Gwenpool does. So this Gwenpool is a little irritating even with Emma, and she also doesn't have any more nodes on her. But it's a pretty easy path. And finally, we come to this extremely irritating part here: Masochism and Vivified. Vivified is possibly the worst node here. The defender has 200% power gain, great, but there's no effect of power drain, power steal, and power burn. And you all be like, well, you can power lock. There's masochism you have to deal with. You can't reliably power lock here. I tried a lot of jams on this path. I tried Void, it didn't work. Uh, I did try Killmonger. Killmonger did work for bleed immune champs. You can just go ahead and hit an SP2 with Killmonger. You get the three indestructibles, take an SP3 to the face, go back again, do an SP2. But then, because it has masochism, you can't really go ahead and use Killmonger on these non-bleed immune champs. I tried magic on this Colossus here because eventually this Colossus goes up to 780 armor as well because of he keeps hitting SP2. Because it has masochism, you don't have to worry about parry because you can always just go ahead and bait specials. Uh, I have seen almost all the videos on YouTube with Ghost and Hood. Just tank the SP3, but nobody has that. I did it without Ghost. The best champ on this path is going to be Stark Spider-Man. Go ahead and get the 10 poise charges. Every of that poise charge is going to go ahead and give you enough attack to drain these champs. You will occasionally get a taunt, which will be removed because of masochism, but the opponent is going to throw special and you can go ahead and just drain them. Stealth Spidey was the best champion on this path. I did try Stealth Spidey with Heimdall and Thor and Angela so that I could just only use this path. But I got stuck at this Red Skull here. So I decided to change my strategy and I decided to use Stock Spidey with Symbiote Supreme. Symbiote Supreme would work on this Colossus as well because every time the Colossus gains armor, uh, it will be nullified. I will gain a lot of power, and there's going to be a lot of damage. I did take Human Torch as well because Human Torch can reverse healing as well. I used Human Torch with this Ghost Rider. Uh, I did parry deliberately, then went ahead and did like 5 or 7 incinerate charges and did another parry deliberately, and that would go ahead and drain some health. And I used Symbiote Supreme for this Red Skull, so I would be able to go ahead and uh, nullify that armor that he gets, and get more damage. The main problem I was having with the Red Skull was because of the 200% power gain. I would push him to SP2. I'm not really good at evading the SP2, but I just went ahead and took block damage. One revive with Symbiote Supreme, and it was done. Uh, Now the next 3 fights were extremely irritating. Yes, I forgot to mention Guillotine 2099. If you are using Guillotine 2099, you can use the pre-fight ability of the power burn, and that does work once you're above 100 hits. So you can sustain 100 hits with this Colossus fight. You will be able to go ahead and burn the 5% of power on the medium attack. The Colossus will not reach his SP3. You can end the fight with an SP3, and you can use that ability throughout the fight. I was able to reach till Emma Frost only with Guillotine 2099, but this Emma Frost was extremely annoying. I had to go ahead and exit out. I could not go ahead and do the path. I used too many revives. So I came back with Stark Spidey at that point of time. This invisible woman is also annoying again because of her invisibility. I had to use a few revives here. Stark Spidey worked the best again. I did use Stealth Spidey here as well as Human Torch. They didn't work. But Stark Spidey, just go ahead and make sure that she's not invisible, do some damage, hit an SP2, and that's it. This Clairvoyant was also annoying only because of the fact that her SP1, those bleeds stack a lot, and that is one problem. Second is her SP2, you know, gains a lot of distance, so you occasionally get stuck in a corner, and then you can just die. That's the only part that's annoying. Otherwise, Stark Spidey worked great as well. And this particular champ, I was really annoyed the first time I tried this path. I did not know how I will go ahead and get through this. But Stark Spidey worked best here as well. Uh, Elsa's SP2 has too many hits. So my strategy was just to do a couple of hits and only avoid her SP1. But with 200% power gain, and masochism, you can't really go ahead and do that. I had to evade SP2s as well, and Stark Spidey's evade ability is spectacular. He evaded the SP2 of Elsa each and every time. It may have taken one or two block hits and that's it. I think I used a couple of revives. This was done. So Sock Spidey, of course, other than Ghost, is best of the parts. Guillotine 29 is also great. Uh, Symbiote Supreme will work as well. And finally, we come to this Adaptoid boss. The problem here with this Adaptoid boss is that he does have armor break immunity. So you would think that you can't take Medusa. But you can take Medusa because he does not have immunity of armor shatter. With Matador, every time he uses a special attack, you can go ahead and gain a bar of power. He does have vigor, is it? Yes, he does have vigor. It's not written here, but I think it's written in his abilities that every time he does a special, he gains a unblockable charge, unstoppable charge. I'm sorry. So, and he also gets power gain as well. So just evade him, let him throw 3 SP1s. You are on your SP3. Hit him with an SP3 with Medusa. He has armor shatter. You are game. You can just go ahead and continue hitting him. He's not going to gain any power. Your armor shatter will expire. When it does expire, do the same thing again. Any nullify champ will work here as well. Doom and Symbiote Supreme will be amazing. You can go ahead and nullify his power gain, his regen, and his unstoppable. And there's nothing else he has going for him anyways. Any champ which has slow debuff like She-Hulk and Spider-Gwen will work as well because all you got to do is to bypass that unblock unstoppable and that's it. She-Hulk is probably going to work best because she gains a lot of furies. Each of the 6 times I did this, I only did it with Still Spidey with his web form. It is pretty easy to maintain the web form on him. Just do the web form first couple of times. Let him throw 2 SP1s, then hit him with an SP2. Let him throw 3 SP1s. You get an SP3. Hit him with an SP3, then hit him with an SP1. Still Spidey is great. It's just that his SP1, although it's like Iron Man, the animation is a little fast. So it can occasionally catch you. I would recommend not ending the combo with a medium or not even doing a 5-hit combo either. Try doing just a 4-hit combo so that you have enough time to recover when he throws an SP1 immediately. His SP2 is also the same as Aquaman. He does not have an SP3. No, but it does have SP3 here. That's odd. There were 2 times where I did push him through his SP3 and he did not throw it. He threw an SP2 instead. So I think it could be a glitch at that time, but he did not throw an SP3 at that particular time. It's really odd. Anyways, we do have enough. I'm not sure how Vision Arcus works actually. If he needs those armor breaks to get the armor shatter, but if he does, Vision Arcus will work as well. This is an easy one shot as well. Long fight, not going to be an issue. Definitely something that is doable. Some parts are bad, but most of it can be done. So, thanks for watching and like and share this video with anyone who's looking forward to do the X6.4 soon. Subscribe to the channel and have an excellent day. Goodbye.